This is Gareth Southgate, and this is the Three Lions Podcast.
How do we get there? I don't know. How do we get there? I don't care. All I know is England's on their way. On our way? We're on our way. To Berlin? We're on our way. Wow. Guten Morgen. Wow. Last night. What about last night? It's not really sunk in yet. That game, that goal. Ollie Watkins, cult hero now, isn't he? That turn, that shot. Gareth, he just gets those substitutions spot on, doesn't he? Doesn't matter what we say. He gets them right. Unbelievable. It was chaos. Glorious chaos in that end, at that moment. Joe, didn't I say recently in an episode about doing a late goals episode? But there it is. That's number one now, isn't it? How are you? How are you doing? This is, of course, the Three Lions Podcast. My name's Russell Osborne. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining me throughout this journey. Genuinely didn't think we would get this far. That's not me being negative. That was me looking back on previous performances: Brazil, Belgium, Iceland, and then again against the likes of Slovenia. But here we are, one step away from making history. Prove me wrong, lads, please. So my journey to Berlin begins now. Last night was spent with some great people, but at the same time, I was remembering a good friend of mine, Trevor, who I've mentioned previously in an episode. He passed away last year, and I've no doubt that we would have been dancing about last night together, just enjoying the moment. So, yeah, my thoughts were with him. But we got back to the train station at Dortmund, at the central train station, and this was my first experience of Germany's horrific National Deutsche Bahn, their rail service. Thousands of fans crammed into non-moving trains. You can see the windows steaming up. No word of a lie, they were in there for an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, whilst the rest of us were left to our own devices on platforms with ever-changing sort of display boards and having to move around. No staff to assist anyone, no staff to even be seen. Horrific. Don't believe everything you hear about the German efficiency. It was really bad. So I got back to my lovely little room at about 3 o'clock last night. The U-Bahn had even finished like for the night, so I had a half-hour walk with limited battery on my phone for Google Maps, but fortunately I got there. But tonight will be spent in Hanover, whilst looking for options to return home at some point after Sunday's final. Yes, yeah, the final. But you join me. I'm in a small town called Wolfrath. I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce it. It's just outside of Essen and Wuppertal, which many England fans will have heard of. Well, why am I here? Well, Wolfrath is twinned with my hometown of Ware in Hertfordshire. So a couple of local buses out of Bochum, and here I am. Small, quiet town, similar to my own. It's got the local independent shops. It's got the sort of the supermarkets, your Lidl's, your Aldi. Whilst Ware is more of a high street sort of town, Wolfrath has more of a cobbled, pedestrianised roads with lovely little side streets. It's got a nice lake with a fountain, lovely church square. Pictures don't do it justice. And then, separate to that, I found the local square that I was looking for. It was the local square with the sign. It tells me I'm 400 miles from home. I mean, when the sun's out, anywhere looks nice. It's, lovely little town. But it's one of those ticked off things to do. I don't know if your town has got a twinned town, but if it's got one, take a look into it. And if you can, go and give it a visit.
Phil Foden, dem darfst du nicht so viel Platz lassen, sonst macht solche Dinge. Phil Foden an den Pfosten, der Top-Hit im englischen Fanblock. Phil Fodens on fire, und das zeigt am heutigen Tage.
All roads lead to Berlin, and my time in Hanover is, well, over. Like many other towns and cities I've seen over these last few weeks, I've been impressed. Gelsenkirchen being the exception, and to be honest, I've even spoken with German people who have said the same. But Hanover, I've had a beer in town, found the stadium, home to Hanover 96. I'd imagine that may have been on a list of possibilities to host games for this tournament. I'm fairly sure it was a venue in the 2006 World Cup. But next to it is a huge lake that I wandered round, getting my steps in. Bigger than I thought it would be, and it'll probably come as no surprise to you that I got soaked and caught in the rain halfway around. But now it's time to move on. Train is booked for Berlin. But also a massive weight off my shoulders. I've managed to secure a route back home. That was always my concern. Getting home, it's always easy to get home. There's options. It's just the time and a reasonable cost. But that's done now, and I can enjoy the rest of the trip. But fair play to all of those of you that snapped up the £19 flights back home from Berlin on the Monday. I tip my hat to you. Just also want to say cheers to Graham Watts, who after the last podcast I mentioned about the Dutch being in orange and reminding me of the Dukes of Hazzard. The number on the side of the car, the General Lee, I was way off. It was just 01, but it was double digits, wasn't it? I have to be honest, my hopes weren't high for the Flix train, but I stand very much corrected, as it's just before noon on Saturday, and I stand with you before the Brandenburg Gate. The backdrop to both the BBC and ITV's coverage throughout this tournament, of course an iconic place with so much history. The bronze cast chariot atop of it. There's tourists everywhere, along with the TV crews, but the tourists, they all want photos with England fans and their England flags. But as we got closer to Berlin on the train, we passed through Spandau. It was then it kind of really began to dawn on me. We've only gone and done it, haven't we? We've only gone and made it here. All that effort of going to the likes of Naples, Skopje, Wrocław, remember that one, Ukraine in Poland, all those home games, just come down to this. Just want to kind of enjoy it, but already being here, seeing loads of fans around, and there's fans from all over the place wearing their own shirts, wearing their own colours, but there's clearly loads of England fans, there's Spanish fans dotted around as well. I am beginning to feel nervous, I have to say, but I felt emotional actually, sort of coming in on the train. I don't usually sort of get emotional in that sort of way, but yeah, I did. There was a piece I read a while back I don't know where I read it, that we won the 66 World Cup under a Labour government, and we also won the tournoi. You might have to Google that one. Back in 1997, once again, when Labour got in. And of course, Labour recently came into government back home, and we're in a final once more. Not that that's any indication of my political persuasion, just saying, really. It's sometimes strange how all these little things come together. So now I'm going to... I've got a few interviews to do with the BBC, so I'm going to find a little place, quiet, and have a chat with them, and then later on find my digs, and who knows where the night will take me tonight. So, slight change of plan. BBC Local Radio's done. Do you know what? BBC Local Radio is so integral to the whole country, so thank you to those guys for giving me a opportunity. All those local journalists, they know their stuff. They're on the ground, and it's very kind of them to let me join them. When I began pushing this podcast out and about, my telephone number got basically put onto a database, and when games like this, or events maybe like the cross on the shirt, media outlets want a word, and sometimes they will come to me, which is nice. So Sky News got in touch with me, and they said, how do you fancy having a quick chat? We'll do it by Zoom. I was like, yeah, no worries, happy to do that. I'll just arrange where I'm going to be, and if we can do it, great. So it was all agreed, and then they contacted me and said, actually, do you want to come do it at the ground? I was like, do you know what? Why not? So here I am, and it gives me an opportunity to sort of take it all in before the crowds descend on this fabulous stadium tomorrow. So the plan is I'm gonna head to where Sky News are, where they want me to be, but I'm going to try and describe it to you now. So from where I'm standing, there are two huge pillars that sort of are the entrance to this stadium. This stadium was built for the 1936 Olympics. It's the Olympia Stadion, and it's home to Hertha Berlin. But as I say, built for the 1936 Olympics, it has so much history to it. This is where Jesse Owens, an American black man, he won 4 gold medals here in that Olympics. 1936, think about the year of that, shortly after the First World War. So for a black man to come here and win 4 gold medals, phenomenal. It's a great story. He won golds in the long jump. I think it was 100 metres, it might have been 200 metres, but it was the long jump that his world record stood for so long. Now, he won his gold medal and took to the winner's podium, and he chose to put his hand to his brow and salute, unlike the guys in second and third place who gave the Nazi salute. It is, as I say, a really interesting story and worth checking out. Even if it's just a quick video on YouTube, just have a look at it. And, of course, we all know Usain Bolt. We're all aware of him. It was actually here, this stadium, 2009, Usain Bolt set the world record for the 100 metres, 9.58 seconds. Again, go on, find that on YouTube. It'll take less than 10 seconds of your time. But I actually came here back in 2008 for a friendly. We won that one, 2-1, thanks to goals from John Terry and Matthew Upson. And in total, we've played here on 7 occasions. Most recently, 2016, where again, we won This time 3-2. Kane, Vardy and Dyer that day. I didn't come to that one. And I mentioned it's a venue with history. I was talking about Jesse Owens there and Usain Bolt. But we played Germany here back in 1938. It was an end-of-season tour match. Now, we won 6-3. Imagine that, beating Germany on home soil 6-3. However, that's not the story. The England team, before kick-off, now they famously gave the Nazi salute in front of the likes of Goering, Hess and Joseph Goebbels. Hitler wasn't in attendance that day by all accounts, but the reasoning given for the team doing the Nazi salute was that the FA secretary at the time, Stanley Rouse, he wanted to try and help Anglo-German relations and said it was going to be a mark of respect. Obviously a lot of players from that time have long since passed, so we don't really know the full story. It's kind of second-hand information, but yeah, really interesting story. But that was then. This is now a day before the European Championships final when England take on Spain here, and I'm looking at the stadium now. Flags all around it. Of course, there's the UEFA Euro 2024 logo in all over it. I can see it's right in the front of the stadium. It's like it's not concrete, but it's like a sandstone pillars that are all around the ground, and you can walk within the pillars. I remember that from, as I say, coming here last time, and it's just obviously it's a running track stadium, and these pillars there, I can count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's probably, I don't know if you were to go and count all of them all the way around, probably a couple of hundred of these pillars, and it's like a two-tiered stadium. With like obviously the roof on top that just like canopies over the top tier. But yeah, it's a fabulous stadium. It's very, well, of its time, 1936. I'm going to go and find where Sky want me to be, and then we'll see if we can do a little bit more afterwards. So Sky News interview done. Do you know what, that was fascinating actually, just seeing how it is all put together, an outside broadcast like that. It was it's interesting to see, and then there's slightly nerve-wracking going on there, and getting messages from my wife saying you really need a shave. But superstition has said, I think, for this tournament I haven't had a shave on other than a match day. But there we go, we all have our own little things. So I've taken a walk around the stadium, and I've come to probably the most iconic part of this stadium. At one end, there are two pillars, and they reach high into the sky. Between them are the Olympic rings. Obviously, the Olympics, as I mentioned, held here in 1936, and they're sort of suspended on wires between these two pillars. And between the two pillars already are banners that have a picture of the trophy and each flag either side it, the Spanish flag and the English flag. It really is a sight, especially as the sun begins to dip. And it's amazing to think that tomorrow night this place will be absolutely heaving. I can't wait. So, it's match day morning. Has to be said, there are some very sore heads across Berlin. Last night was noisy, but it's for me personally, it's been a morning of sightseeing. You can't just wait around for kick-off, can you? You've got to occupy yourself, otherwise you'll go stir crazy. Berlin, though, plenty of sights to see. There's the massive TV tower in Alexanderplatz, Checkpoint Charlie, of course, and the Berlin Wall. One thing I would have liked to have done is the fan park, which is of course on the backs onto the Brandenburg Gate with the massive goalposts, but it's probably not looking possible now, which is a shame. I don't think I'm going to have the time for it. And plus, I've just looked out the window and it's started to rain, which is frustrating. But we need to talk Spain, don't we? I've met a few of their fans earlier on today. They were wandering around, taking everything in, just as we were. All those sights to see. You not need me to remind you they are our opponents tonight. But what I will remind you of is how they got to the final. Unlike ourselves, they hit top gear from the outset. Group B winners in that group that was quite hard to predict, wasn't it, when it was drawn? But they started it with a 3-0 victory over Croatia and then 1-0 victories over both Italy and Albania. And that saw them top their group. Round of 16 saw a convincing 4-1 victory over Georgia. In the quarter-finals, much like us, they had to rely on extra time against the hosts Germany, breaking their hearts with a last-minute Marino goal. In the semi-final against France, great game for any neutral. At that time, possibly the game of the tournament until our game against the Dutch. Thing is, they have goals across their team. Olmo has 3. Torres, Morata, Williams, Rodri, and of course the 16-year-old Yamal. I'm sure you're aware of him. Actually, I say he's 16. He actually turned 17 yesterday. How about that? But what's our history with them? Well, we have played them 27 times. We've won 13, we've drawn 4, and we've lost 10. Now, we last met quite a while ago now, 6 years ago, in a Nations League game in Seville. I didn't go that day, but those that did will have soggy memories, I guess, of it. But even better memories of the result. Sterling with 2 and Rashford, which saw us 3-0 up at half-time. Spain, they came back, but we held out. You may remember another abiding memory of that game was Eric Dyer's crunching tackle on Sergio Ramos. If you need reminding, just go find it on YouTube. And we have met them before in the Euros. It was back in 1980 in Italy. We won 2-1. And then the game in Euro 96, a game, frankly, where Spain, well, they should have won it, but it was taken to penalties, and who can forget David Seaman saving from Nadal, and Stuart Pearce finally putting his 1990 ghost to bed.
Well, we have pulled in to the Olympia Station as the crowd start to make their way up the steps, the exit to the station and towards the stadium where I came last night. Already thousands more kids getting their face painted, some German shirts in front of me, and like every single game before that I've been to, there are people standing outside. I want a ticket, I need a ticket. Not for me, thank you. Face painting's not for me. Half and half scarves. There's a bar, I think it's a sports bar, it's where I went yesterday for the Sky interview, and that is full of English fans and English flags. I think I need a drink, so that is what I'm going to do. So the gates actually open at 6 o'clock here, and already there are people queuing, ready, waiting to get in. The reason why people queue to get in early is they're the ones who put their flags up right at the front, right around the perimeter. That's why they come so early. Do you know what? There's some spots of rain now just approaching. So I'm lucky, I'm just going to find a little bit of shelter. There's a dark grey cloud has literally just come over, which is annoying.
So I'm Mark, I'm from Wolves. Bit nervous about the game today, not sure which way it goes. Hopefully we can finally get over the line now, but one of ours, isn't it? Never be confident as an England fan.
Jack from Wolverhampton. I think we have a good feeling all week this week on the back of the Dortmund win. I think we're going to romp it home too. I think it's coming home genuinely. Looking forward to the game. Great occasion. Sun's come out. Nice to get out of England and see some sunshine.
Great.
Looking forward to it.
Nice one.
Cheers, boy.
Matt from Somerset, Sport Yeovil. Good feeling. It feels different to what it did 3 years ago, so it's got to be our time. We've rode our luck a bit to get here, but we're here now and just one more game in it, just get it done.
Get it over the line.
Yeah, it's coming home.
Nice one.
I'm Billy from Leicester. Feeling quite positive, to be honest. Probably sneak it 1-0, I reckon, Harry Kane or something. Just had this feeling all along that we'd be in the final, and we are, so happy days, and we're here.
I don't know if this is classed as an oompa band the Germans have, but there's a fella there with a massive oompa trumpet. Quality band, just entertaining the crowds here at the moment. Loads of England fans singing along. So I'm joined by a gaggle of Spanish fans here who are just as excited as I am. Let's find out who we've got here.
Hey, I am Giovanni. We are from Benidorm. We come here to check the game and...
Come here to get away from the English.
We will always find them everywhere we go.
So what's your thoughts on today's game?
I think it will be a good match.
Yeah.
To be honest, I think it will be 2-1 for Spain, but it won't be easy.
And Gerardo, also from Spain. We are here in Berlin. Let's see how the final goes.
Yeah.
My expectations, honestly, 2 or 3-1 to Spain.
Fair enough.
But England is dangerous, so we have to see.
Now, also with you here, is this a friend of yours?
Yes.
Okay. What's your name, sir?
My name's Kevin.
So this is Kevin. Kevin's decked out in a Spanish shirt, Spanish flag with the... is it a bull? What's it properly called?
That's the bull,
It's just a bull. Is it not... What do they call it?
Toro Bravo.
Toro Bravo.
Yeah. Toro.
But, Kevin, go and explain.
Yeah, I'm from the Netherlands. But vamos a España.
How have you found yourself here with a final ticket?
Yeah, we are friends, so we needed to go together.
Yeah.
So that's one of the reasons. I hoped for that the final was Spain against the Netherlands, but sadly we lost to England. So
were you there in Dortmund?
No, we were there.
No,
we weren't there.
What was your feelings though when that last-minute Ollie Watkins goal went in?
I don't think I want to talk about it. Sorry.
No, fair enough. No. Guys, thank you very much. Wish you all the best. Enjoy the game. Yeah?
Thank you. Really,
May the best team win.
Enjoy.
Thank you.
So I've just seen that Spain have already won something today. Alcaraz, I think that's how you say his name, has just won Wimbledon, the men's singles final today. Hopefully that's the only thing that the Spanish win. But it's a day that's been dominated by news, as we all woke up to the news that former American President Donald Trump and current guy in the running for the next presidential election was a victim of an assassination attempt. It's kind of what a lot of people have been talking about today.
We welcome as well the English and the Spanish fans to the European Championship finals. We welcome you here to enjoy that wonderful game.
There's the cheer as the gates are opened, just as the rain starts to hammer down. So I've got myself through the turnstiles. It's quite a vigorous pat down. Finally, they have a pat down of some substance, and I can talk you around this amazing stadium. So I told you earlier on about these sort of sandstone pillars. I'll go for a walk around those. So you kind of walk around this like this cobbled pathway, and then underneath, past all these sandstone pillars. And inside the pillars, each one has got like an old sort of, I don't know, bronze lamp inside it. I'll find my gate at some point. Pretzel sellers everywhere. I think I'm all pretzeled out this trip. That and kebabs. This is the piece that I wanted to see. So you'll know, or you might be aware, that there is the stadium. It has a gap at one end of it. This is where the Olympic flame, I believe, was. And it's the end where the England fans are going to be. Either side on the wall, it's got the details of that 1936 Olympics, like on tablets onto the wall. And we're inside. This is what we came for. This is the Olympia Stadion in Berlin. We've made it to Berlin. It's it's great to see. I'll be honest though, I'm row 29, and it's high up enough with a good vantage point. But because it's a running track stadium, you remember the old Wembley? You can cast your mind back to the old Wembley Stadium, where behind the goal it had that massive area where the dog track used to be. Of course, the old Wembley wasn't a running track, it was where the speedway or the dog track. This obviously is a athletic stadium, but behind it it's a huge, vast, open area. Blue. Well, it's been covered with all the UEFA Euro 2024 decorations. Will take place around 2045. Thanks for that. Just interrupts me. But no, it's got the large UEFA branding on the floor. I don't know how far I am away from behind the goal. Possibly about maybe 30 metres. But it's a two-tiered stadium. In a way, kind of think of Hampden. It's a lot better than Hampden, clearly. But it's got the lower tier. And then those sandstone pillars that I mentioned that are on the outside, they're on the inside that hold the upper tier up. And then to my right is where all the broadcast facilities are, where the Olympic flame would have been, or may well be, but it's covered with England St George's Cross flags at the moment. Let's go through those whilst we're talking about them. Here we got Lyme Regis down there, Bristol City, Fowler and Bell, Portishead Town, Hales Owen, Mansfield, Nottingham. The Chairboys, Wickham, Portsmouth are here. There's Chelsea, SW17 Blues. Up above, already they're being put up. Massive Stoke City one. Jimmy Lockett, Doncaster, Middlesbrough, Hull. Virtually every club in England probably represented here. And I'll be honest, there are very little in the way of Spanish fans knocking around. All the English are very keen to get in early, but there's not so many in the Spanish end at the moment. Just thinking back to the last Euros, where we had like a massive trophy came on the pitch, red arrows came over as well. I'm wondering if they'll do something similar today. I've been in. Let's carry on walking around the outside. I don't think as many England fans have come to a game this early before. I seem to remember when I came before, there was like some plaque on the wall that was quite significant. I can't remember what it was. I'm going to try and find it again. And if that means carry on walking around the perimeter, then so be it. I've got a little bit of time. It's supposed to be a programme for today, and I can't for the life of me find it or see anyone with it. I've just seen Rob Beckett. Bear with me. Rob, can I get a picture?
Yeah, no worries.
We're coming with my wife to see you on the film show.
Oh, yeah?
Valentine's Day. We've got tickets for it.
Oh, brilliant.
Can I just get a picture?
Yeah, no worries. Cheers, mate. I'll see you then.
Cheers. Sorry, where was I? I was just getting a photo with Rob Beckett. So I've ended up in the what appears to be the Spanish section of the ground on the outside. All of a sudden it's turned very red. Obviously the language has changed. I can't remember what I'm looking for now. I swear there was some sort of famous plaque. So the team sheet is out and it looks like we've just got the one change. We'll get to that in a moment. But Jordan Pickford in goal. Kyle Walker, here's the change. Luke Shaw is in for Kieran Trippier. It appears that those sort of cameo appearances where Gareth has brought him on for as substitutes in those last couple of games, he's proved himself now for a starting place. Declan Rice, John Stones, Mark Gahey, Bukayo Saka, Harry Kane, Jude Bellingham, Phil Foden and Kobe Mainu are our starting 11 tonight. Come on, England. You see the England team just getting ready to come out and warm up. Probably going to be a massive cheer when they do come out. Here they come. Is beginning to fill up now, and you can see where the Spanish supporters are going to be stood. If you sort of break the ground up into quarters, the Spanish have got one quarter and the rest is England. That's how many England fans have found their way into this stadium. It was a pretty impressive closing ceremony. Lots of fireworks, lots of colour, the official theme tune. I don't know where they've got the Dido song and the Eminem song from. But with less than 10 minutes to go, the team are getting ready. I don't know, for whatever reason, they put the Spanish display on the pitch at the England end and the England display at the Spanish end. I don't know why they've consistently done this.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the finalists of the UEFA Euro 2024, Spain and England. Liebe Zuschauer und Zuschauer, liebe Präsidenten, Finalisten der UEFA heute. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand up if you are able for the national anthems, starting with England.
half-time, to be fair, it's probably a fair result. Spain, as you'd expect, had the vast majority of the possession. Neither team had a shot really on goal of any note. Referee, he's dished out a few cards, but he's probably let a few things go as well. This could still go either way, but it's kind of taken me back to 2021. This is how I felt back then. That sort of knotty stomach, that sort of unknown. About 7 minutes left, you have to wonder what's going through Gareth's mind now. Do we keep it as it is? It's extra sub, or are we looking once again at extra time? Without a shadow of a doubt, Jordan Pickford has kept us in this game. He's made about 3, maybe 4 exceptional saves. Done. 2 minutes to go.
Goal for Spain!
Throw the kitchen sink at this now.
Ladies and gentlemen, congratulations to the European champions, Spain, the winners of the UEFA Euro 2024. Thank you to both Spain and England for their outstanding performances throughout.
Good morning. It's that feeling once again, isn't it? If you got this far on the pod, thank you very much. If not, I don't blame you. I'm at the Hauptbahnhof, the central station in Berlin. It's just gone 7 a.m. Monday morning. The city is waking up. People are heading to work. The Euros are over. Spain are the champions. I'm not going to go into an inquest here. It's been a long month. That Serbia game seems a lifetime away now, doesn't it? But we improved eventually. The team took us on an eventful journey. A journey that could have been over a couple of weeks back. Just think if Jude had blasted that overhead kick over the bar or into the keeper's arms, that would have been more upsetting than losing last night. Of course, they stepped it up against the Swiss. They converted 5 perfect penalties. And we'll never forget Ollie Watkins and his last-minute goal in Dortmund. Last night, Spain, well, they had a clear amount of possession, something we all knew they'd have. Perhaps by scoring so soon after half-time, it left us vulnerable, not able to immediately sort of carry out the instructions from half-time and stamp our authority on the half. They continued strongly after that, had a couple of chances, didn't they? Jordan Pickford was immense, wasn't he, in keeping that score down, some of the saves he made. But once again, Gareth Southgate made substitutions and one paid off. Cole Palmer, cracker, wasn't it? It was fitting, I guess, that it was at our end in a final. Once again, limbs, as they say, hugging and dancing with randoms. But the sucker punch came with 4 minutes to go. Spanish substitution this time. On the whole, as frustrating as it is, I've no qualms with losing to Spain. They've proved to be a class act throughout. Although it has to be said, some of their players perhaps didn't act in a way a professional player should. Tough to take second defeat. I mean, as well, it's for not just for the supporters, but I'm sure for the vast majority of those players. It's the second time for them. Pickford, Walker, Stones, Rice, Shaw, Bellingham, Kane. Beginning to feel for Harry Kane now. Still no senior medal for him. And then, of course, there's Gareth. Who knows where Gareth's mind is at the moment. He's taken stick throughout the tournament, especially in those early rounds, and he admitted it was tough. As I say, no inquest at the moment. Next few days and weeks, he'll no doubt explain it all. But before I finish this, I just want to say once again, thanks for listening, thanks for contributing. If our paths have crossed, it's been a pleasure. Even if it's a passing hi, sharing a beer, meeting on a coach, watching a game. If you just come up to me and said you listen, genuinely appreciate it. May not have been the best tournament, but the Germans have been great hosts. So just leave it there, I think. It's not a great deal more to say. I should, however, though, thank my wife for holding the fort back home as I chased the dream. I'm fortunate that she understands. I'll probably give the pod a rest for the few weeks, but I'll be back, much like the team. We'll dust ourselves down, take stock, and pick ourselves up. So until then, take care of yourselves. Cheers.